Alright, hi guys. I'm going to show you how to do a sample graph using Google Sheets. And so here I just have a data table where I've collected some information, and this is going to be an example for the CO2 and Pop Lab, but you can use this anytime you're going to be wanting to graph some information. So looking at this, we have to create two graphs, two line graphs. The first one we're looking at is going to be temperature of water bath versus time. And so you'll notice here I have my data table. So I have elapsed time over here, the temperature of the water bath, the volume of gas that I collected here, and then this is going to be the volume of dissolved carbon dioxide in pop. And so essentially what we did is we took the final number down here, 71, and we subtracted it from the volume of gas collected. So here all the CO2 was still in the pop, and then gradually over time it was released as the temperature went up. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to create a couple of graphs here. First one is going to be temperature versus time. And so, first thing we need is all the temperature data. So I'm going to go down here, I'm going to take this, and you can enter this manually, but just to save time, I'm just going to come in here and copy. I'm going to go over here to this Google sheet that I already had open, and I'm going to label this one. I'm going to say temp, and I'm going to put in Celsius. I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to paste my data. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing now for time, and we're going to say in minutes. Let's go back to our data, and I need time in minutes, so we're going to highlight this column, copy that data, come back here and paste it. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to highlight both these columns. I'm going to go in here to let's see, insert, and I want to insert a chart. Okay, so as I click insert chart, it's going to give me some different ones. Looks like it defaulted to line, which is fine. If it's not, you can just go here and select the different kind of charts. We happen to want a line chart. This is not what I want my line chart to look like. Okay, so I need to kind of fix my axes and what they're graphing here. So I'm going to go here into this first one, and so this first one, I don't know why it's not labeled, but this will show the y-axis. The x one you enter down here, so I don't know why this doesn't say y, but it doesn't. And so the data that I want there, I don't want the entire range, I just want, let's see, on my y I want temp, so I'm going to go from A2 down to A27, and I'm going to hit OK. And so you'll notice here on your y-axis it has your temperature 0 to 100. Okay, then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go down here to the X. I'm going to click on this little cluster. Okay, and then I need for this one, I need to go up top here again, and we're going to highlight from, let me go back. So x-axis, I'm going to start highlighting here at cell B2, and I'm going to go down to B27, hit OK. Alright, and you'll notice now along the x-axis, there I have my time for the minutes, and it went up to 25 is what we kind of wanted there. Okay, so that's looking good. It even has kind of the title, temperature and time. I can actually label my axes. Okay, so if I go into here, I can go to customize, and then I can go down here to chart and axes titles. So I can go here and I can even change this instead of and, I can put verses. Okay, and then I can actually label. If you look at this, it'll say, so there's chart title. I have a couple of different drop down menus here. So for the vertical axis, we said that vertical one we said was the temperature in Celsius, and then we can go down here and switch it to horizontal, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to say time in minutes. Oops, not in minutes. Okay, and so then there you have your graph. So you have your temperature versus time graph. All right. We're going to do a very similar graph. We're going to do a second one because it was talking about the volume of dissolved carbon dioxide versus temperature. So very similar thing. So I just open up a new spreadsheet. Same thing. So this time I'm going to say volume of CO2, and I can't make a subscript, so you're just going to have to deal with that. And then I'm going to say temp, and I'm going to put in Celsius. Okay, so I'm going to collect the data for this. So I'm going to go back to my sheet. Okay, and so the volume of dissolved CO2, that's this last column. So I'm going to highlight all this data. Now, just so you guys are aware, this is just made up data. Your mileage will vary, but similar nonetheless. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to just enter that data, the volume of CO2 dissolved in the pop. I'm going to go back and I'm going to do the temperature in Celsius. So I need to go back to my sheet, and my temperature in Celsius is this column. I get all this data and type that in. Okay, go back. There's that data. So I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to highlight these columns. I'm going to go ahead and hit insert and a new chart for this one. Okay, once again, I don't want it looking like this. It is a line. I don't know if I could have prevented that by maybe just highlighting one of the columns for the Y. I don't know. I guess we'll never know. It's a mystery. But this is the way I'm going to do it. So I'm going to go back. Oh, where'd my data go for this? There we go. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to change this to where this is only the volume of carbon dioxide. So I'm going to hit OK. So that's going to turn this, and it already looks a little different there. Now all I need to do is put in my temperatures. So I need to go down here to the x-axis. Let me go back up here to the top. Go here to the x. I'm going to start here at B2 and go all the way down to, there we go. All right. And there's this graph, so you can kind of see what's happening to the volume of CO2 in the temperature. Okay, once again, so I want to go in here and I want to click Customize. And so I'm going to do Chart and Axis Titles. I might, instead of saying and, just put versus. And once again, so the Y, I'm going to say the horizontal, or excuse me, the vertical one. Here we want to call this volume of dissolved CO2. Okay, and then I want to go and change this to the horizontal axis, and I'm going to call this temp in Celsius. Okay, and it's just that easy. And then you can print off these graphs and answer your questions, but there you have them. They're nice, they're labeled. Okay, you got all your little axes in there. Awesome. All right, thanks.